What's going on, everyone? So welcome to my latest live stream. This is, of course, on a Sunday night. And yeah, as you guys saw with the video title, film, TV show Hangout, it's going to be a pretty chill live stream, hopefully. But I did also want to talk about, as you saw with the thumbnail, I did want to talk a little bit about Mickey 17 and just the overall state of cinema. I feel like it would be something that, would garner some discussion. And that's what I want. Now, I know usually with my live streams, it takes a little bit for there to be discussion. So I figure we'll circle back around once there's people that join. But for now, just wanted to say, hope everyone's weekend went well. Happy early St. Patrick's Day to those that celebrate, which will be tomorrow. Let me know what St. Patrick Day films you guys will be watching. For myself, I'm probably going to be watching Brooklyn tomorrow with Saoirse Ronan, so I'm looking forward to revisiting that because it's been almost 5 years, quite a long time. But yeah, I've had a busy weekend watching a lot of different movies and everything, and I'm going to bring up Box Office Mojo right now, and I haven't looked at the overall stats this week just yet, so I'll be pulling it up, and this will be my reaction to it. So let's pull that up right now. Let's see. All right. So the latest dailies. Let's see. All right. All right, so we'll go with number 10 first. So number 10, it looks like number 10 was The Last Breath, which made $2.3 million. I actually saw this film on Friday, and I'm very much so glad that I checked it out because I liked it. I would definitely rewatch it. We're talking about original cinema here. I mean, Last Breath, it was a documentary prior, but most people, including myself, probably didn't watch the documentary. So it's good that it's doing decent numbers. We do have a comment. Can't Articulate says first. Can't Articulate. Good to hear from you, man. Hope you're doing well. Right now, we're looking at the box office numbers for the week because, as you guys saw with the thumbnail, I just wanted to talk about the overall state of cinema and just how people are always talking about original movies, but then they don't actually watch those original movies. And I think this week in particular it's a prime example of like this hypocrisy that a lot of people have. So like Last Breath example, that's based on a true story, but it hasn't been adapted into a film before other than a documentary. The Monkey, that's also technically an original movie. Like, yeah, it's based on a Stephen King story, but to my knowledge, it hasn't been adapted before. Dogman. I'm glad Dogman's actually doing pretty decent. I do want to watch that movie, but I'm actually going to be waiting until, the Blu-ray at my local library for that one. Paddington, Peru, I did see that one. I thought that one was okay. It's a sequel. I think it's actually doing the best of the three in terms of North America. The Last Supper I have not seen yet, but that's a remake. I'll say it's a remake. And then The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. I am planning to check this out on Wednesday. I'm watching this movie, and then right after that, I'm going to be watching Spring Breakers because it's going to be an IMAX. And then Captain America: Brave New World, 5.4 million. Didn't really drop that much. I mean, honestly, a 34.7%. It's really not a bad drop off. And then this is my point. Black Bag and Mickey 17 both made $7.5 million. People always talk about original cinema and how theaters need to produce this and that, at the same time, also distributors need to produce this. Well, here's the thing. The top two movies are those movies. And I know some people might say, well, what are you complaining about if those are the top two slots and, people are seeing them? Well, people really aren't. 7.5 million really is not that much. Like, these are two movies that should be doing at least 20 million. I know that they're catering towards adults, but I mean, that's just it. Like, you would think that adults would want to go to the movies the most, but I think if anything, adults have kind of gone back to just, waiting until streaming versus younger people go to the movies, from what I understand. And I'm saying, though, if that's the case, then it makes sense because if you look Captain America, that's geared towards younger audiences. That's made $185 million as opposed to the adult, geared towards films. Those ones just haven't been doing as well, unfortunately. And I don't really have an answer. I really don't know how you're going to bring back older audiences to the theater. I really don't. I just know younger audiences are the ones that are going to the theaters. And it's sad because theaters are not theaters, distributors and studios, they're then going to look at this and say, well, we know what to make because the money's going towards the movies that are geared towards younger people. So it's sad, man. It's really sad. Like, I was just thinking about that today. And I'm just like, I hear this discussion, the same old sorry story. Like, oh, they don't make original movies. They do. You just don't go out to see them. You'll go out to see Captain America #4, but you won't see Mickey 17, a very original movie. A flawed movie, for sure, but a movie that's still quite original. So, I don't know. It's just something I want to talk about. And then even if you go down, Mufasa just got out of the top 10. Like, that movie had legs. You don't see movies that are geared towards adults that have legs as much anymore. I mean, look at Opus. Opus is an R-rated A24 film. It didn't even make it into the top 10, which means that audiences that are, older just don't really want to see a movie like that. Anora just won Best Picture, and it only made 640,000, and it dropped its amount of theaters and also dropped its average theater. So I don't know. It's just I know that you always hear people complain about, like, oh, everyone's complaining that, cinema's dying and it's getting closer, but it's not actually. But I don't know. I am getting worried. I know I made that video last year, but, I am kind of worried that it's getting to a point now where it's like, it's frustrating. It really is. Not seeing any other new releases. Yeah, so it looks like that. Oh, why did I not? I think I just missed that. My bad. Okay, let me take that back. Novocaine actually had the #1 spot. For some reason, I thought Mickey 17 had the #1 spot. My bad. I apologize. So Novocaine had the #1 spot. Mickey 17 had the #2 slot, and the #3 slot went to Black Bag. So all three are movies geared towards adults, but all three also made 21, 22 million. Really not that much. And even if you look at the average per theater, it's really not that much. And Mickey 17 really didn't do well last week, which I called. I said it wasn't going to do well because it looked weird, and at the same time, it's a mishmash of different genres, so people aren't going to go see it, even though it's a very original movie. Can't articulate. I still got to catch Black Bag. I heard it's good. Yeah, I liked it. Sergey and I, we actually saw it together. I liked it more than him. I know of the Steven Soderbergh films, I know he preferred Presence more. For me, I actually liked Black Bag more. I liked Presence quite a bit, but I liked Black Bag more. So if you get a chance, would highly recommend you check it out. It's definitely worth your time. Are you gonna be watching any of the other movies? Like, I don't know if you checked out Novocaine just yet. I know Novocaine I'm probably going to be waiting on. Originally, I was going to see it, but I'm just looking at, like, my future schedule, and I'm just like, I don't know. Can't articulate says I liked Presence a lot. The score was great there. Yeah, the more I think about Presence, the more I like it. I'll be curious to see how that holds up on second viewing, especially knowing the twist now. Which, by the way, the twist I thought was good, but I wasn't quite sure about it when it first happened. But when I started talking about it afterwards, I was like, oh, I like it more. Can't articulate Novocaine. I might just wait till streaming. Yeah, that's the other thing. Let's talk about the streaming window. I mean, Mickey 17, I saw the news. It just got announced that it's going to be in streaming in a week or two. Like that's insane. That's less than a month window. So it's getting to the point where you're going to have a movie that's going to come out and then a week later it's going to be on streaming. And then people are going to say, what's the point of going to the theater if it's just going to be coming out to the, streaming a week or two later? Like it's frustrating. Like a lot of streaming services, it seems like they want theaters out of the picture, and it's saddening. It really is, especially with this lineup. And you would think that Warner Brothers, the ones that are championing Mickey 17, and for people to go see it, you would think that they would wait on Mickey 17 having a digital release date, but no, they just want to kill it. Actually, let me see how it's doing domestically. I'm curious. I mean, not domestically, internationally. I'm curious. So internationally, it's not doing too bad. I mean, 57 million internationally is not bad, but considering the price tag, I think the movie cost 120 million. Considering that, it's still going to be ending up a bomb, unfortunately. Particularly, theaters will always be the best way to watch a film. 100%. 100%. I mean, case in point, I mentioned Spring Breakers earlier. I own that on Blu-ray. I really like the film. It gets better with each viewing. But guess what? Seeing that it's going to be playing in IMAX at my local AMC, even though I own it, even though I know going to the theater it's going to cost gas money, I don't care. I want to see that on the big screen. I've also heard rumors that The Dark Knight is going to be playing in IMAX May 23rd, I believe it is. If that's the case, I own The Dark Knight on 4K. I'm going to go out and I'm going to experience it on the big screen for the first time. So I agree. It's the best way. Your phone is away. Don't get me wrong. We always try to keep our phone away when we're at home, but in the theater, you absolutely have to 100% pay attention. It's just you and the screen. It's amazing. So I agree, but it seems like a lot of people don't see it the way we do, which is a shame. Like I'm understanding a different viewpoints, but I also think that it's really good to have theaters as as an outlet, and it also brings people together and it brings discussion, which is also important. Can't particularly. I just bought Dark Knight on Blu-ray. I may just watch it in theaters as well. It looks really good on Blu-ray, but I will say, if at any point in time you decide to upgrade, the 4K somehow, some way, is even better than the Blu-ray, which is mind blowing. But still looks great on Blu-ray. But I'm glad that you'll be watching it in theaters as well. From what I understand, they might be showing Batman Begins and The Dark Knight Rises as well. If that's the case, I'm probably going to see all three in theaters. Because even rewatching Interstellar in theaters, like that was awesome. It was really, really good. But actually, let's look at right now how things are going. Let's see. That's wild. Wicked is, even though Wicked was a 2024 film, it's still, in terms of 2025 films, it's still in the top 10 in terms of how much it made. Actually, most of these are holdover films. I think the only technical 2025 films are Paddington in Peru, One of Them Days, Dogman, and then Captain America: Brave New World. So that's wild. So this year's kind of off to a slow start, it would seem. But One of Them Days, even though I thought the movie was kind of middle of the road, still glad that it's doing decently. Like my wife and I saw it a week or so ago, and it was playing for 2 or 7 months. Like that's pretty good. But Mufasa, that was wild with the amount of legs that film had, because I remember thinking it might be a box office bomb when it first came out, and here we are, and it's still making money. Den of Thieves. Still need to watch Den of Thieves. Hard Eyes. Still need to watch that. Flight Risk. I'm waiting to watch that on library. Companion I saw. Companion, honestly, that's another Warner Brothers movie that I'm really surprised didn't do as well as I thought it was going to do. Like, I thought it was going to be a hit with audiences, but audiences didn't really go out to see it, unfortunately. And then it was on the streaming shortly after, which is also a shame. So, again, it's almost like set up for failure. But yeah, that's just some of the box office numbers. I kind of like talking about box office numbers. Maybe I'll do that weekly on Sundays. Like, talk about it. Marv usually likes talking about it too, but the boys weren't available today. Busy last couple weekends for the boys, but I hope everyone's doing well. Let's see what else I got. Let me pull up Rotten Tomatoes because there's some movies on there and TV shows that I figure we could talk about as well. Here we go. All right, let me present this to you guys. All right. So let me zoom in. In terms of popular streaming movies, The Electric State has the number one spot, and it looks like it has a excellent 14%. I saw this movie. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. Anora looks like it has the number 2 slot. Heretic, number 3. Craven the Hunter. I still need to watch Craven the Hunter. Companion. Trap. I think Trap's on there because it recently got released on Netflix. I'm Still Here. The Parenting, which I haven't seen. Flow's probably on here because it recently won Best Animated Feature at the Oscars. And then Moana 2, I think recently, if I'm not mistaken, got released on Disney Plus. And then if we're looking at TV shows, so Adolescence is a TV show I heard about on, when was it? Friday. I heard about Adolescence on Friday, and I read an article saying that each episode was one long take. And when I saw who directed it, it's the same director that did Boiling Point, I was like, okay, that makes sense. I'm excited to check out this show, though. I think it's only 4 episodes long on Netflix. Very much so looking forward to check that out. Invincible, completely caught up. I am thinking about doing a review on my channel for all 3 seasons. Long Bright River, I wanted to check that out. Haven't yet. Daredevil Born Again, probably not going to check that out, to be honest. I like the first 3 seasons of Daredevil, and I'm sure that this one's watered down. Wheel of Time, I've heard good things. Haven't checked it out. Severance, I'm pretty close to checking it out. Dope Thief, haven't seen yet. The White Lotus, I'm watching week to week. Excited for tonight's episode. Paradise, I haven't seen. And then The Studio. The Studio is the new Seth Rogen show. I don't really watch Apple shows that much, but I am planning to actually check that out. Yeah, Articulate says they could have given me a slice of that $320 million. Dude, it's insane that movie cost $320 million. Like, watching it, you don't get the sense that it's $320 million. You get the sense that it's probably $75 million. So unless they paid the actors the $250 other million, I don't know where the money went. I really don't. It's wild. Seems like people like the Wheel of Time this season. I may watch it instead of reading the 15-book series. LOL. Yeah, I haven't read the book series, but I also haven't watched the show just yet. That's the thing. There's a lot of Prime shows that I see the poster for, and I'm just like, I don't know, man. I'm like, I don't know. Other than like The Boys or Invincible. Can't articulate. I finished Adolescence. It was good. Oh, dude, that's awesome. Was it satisfying? Like the last episode, did you really like? Because from what I understand, I think episode three, from what I've heard, is really, really good, and that's like the best episode. But I could be wrong. I'm excited for the studio though, and then these are some of the upcoming movies. I found out, I think it was last week, the Minecraft movie is apparently the same director that did Napoleon Dynamite. Let that sink in. That's utterly wild. Utterly wild. The Amateur, I'll be looking to watch. A Working Man, part of me says to just wait until the library. I don't know just yet. Warfare, I'm excited for Warfare, though. Warfare should be good. And then Ash, I haven't really heard of that, but I'll probably check that out. And then, oh, Death of a Unicorn. I'm excited for that one. Can't Paradise is one of the best episodes I've ever seen. I actually don't really know what Paradise is about. Let me see. Hmm. Teaming with heady concepts and themes. Okay. I mean, I like Sterling K. Brown. I like ambitious ideas. So, yeah, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, the last episode was my favorite. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm based on the premise, I'm very curious about it, and I'm hoping that the payoff's good. So I'll definitely let you know when I watch it. I'm curious if they have it on Letterboxd just yet because it's just a limited series. But I don't know if you saw Boiling Point, but I would highly recommend you check that out because it's all about people in the kitchen and it's all one long take. I think it's a 95-minute movie, all in one take. It's wild. It's really good. So I'm glad to hear that that director is then taking that same approach and utilizing it for you know, TV shows. Well, TV show, I should say. Seven Veils I wanted to watch, but it was only in theaters near me for a week. So I didn't even get a chance to watch it. Adolescence, Novocaine. But yeah. Lots and lots of movies and TV shows to watch. I forget, can't articulate. Are you watching The White Lotus? Because it's so good right now. I've heard some people I've heard say that they don't like season three as much as the other two seasons, but I disagree. I'm having a ball. It's funny because when the third season started, I was like, I wonder if this is going to be actually a predictable season of TV. And then it continued, and I'm like, I don't know where it's going to go. Like they just keep throwing twists and turns. It's really good so far, and it's nice to see Jason Isaacs playing against type because he usually always plays a bad guy, and in this he's like a dad character, but not like a hateable dad, just a dad that has a lot of issues. Can't articulate. Yeah, I'm watching the White Lotus. The dad is so cooked. Yeah, holy cow! That scene in the last episode, when he's all drugged out and he went all basic instinct on those family. Was not expecting that. Was not expecting that, but that was something. I was like, well, got a 4K TV, so of course I had to see it all. Also, Patrick, what's his name? Patrick Schwarzenegger. He's really good so far. He definitely will have a career after this show. I mean, I'm pretty sure he had roles before this, but you know what I'm saying. Like this is the type of show that a lot of people watch. So a lot of casting agents will, look at this and say, "Oh wow, this guy's really good," and then they'll cast him in other stuff. So you'll definitely be sure to be on the lookout for other stuff with him in it because what's going to happen usually does. I think what we're on episode 5, so we're over the halfway point. So I really don't know where we're gonna go with the rest of the show. Can't articulate. Yeah, Patrick is good. Yeah, honestly, all of the family members, like that family, I just find to be fascinating, and I didn't realize until I think a week or two ago, but apparently that family is based on a like a Real Housewives family. So find that to be fascinating. But it also makes sense because I've always said at White Lotus is Succession, they have that prestigious nature to them, but they do also, in some regards, feel like a reality TV show. Just again, very prestigious at the same time. It's a fascinating mix. So it makes sense as to why that family is inspired by reality TV for the show. Trying to think what other shows I'm watching. That's why I have a list. Oh, 1 second. Helps me keep track of things. Still watching The Sopranos. Banshee. I still have the series finale Banshee to watch. I just finished Louis season 2, so now I'm on season 3, episode 1. Shaun the Sheep. I am on season 2, episode 1. Oh, Righteous Gemstones. I'm watching that week to week. I thought the season 4 premiere was excellent. Really, really good. And a certain big A-list actor was in it, and he was really good. Highly recommend you guys check out Righteous Gemstones. Yellowstone, I think today is when it dropped on Peacock. The rest of the episodes, so my wife and I will be watching the rest of Yellowstone, and then be sure to be on the lookout for for a review for that. Let's see. I do want to watch Severance, The Studio. Oh, The Pit. I'm looking to watch The Pit as well at some point. I can't particularly. I have a whole lot that I'm watching. I'm on season 4, Peaky Blinders. Only 6 episodes per season, which is nice. Yeah, that was honestly back in what was it, 2017, 2018. That was originally what made me want to check out Peaky Blinders, was the fact that each season was so few episodes. But I never finished it, unfortunately. I think I only saw the first 2 seasons, something like that. So I'm definitely behind. So, but I'll probably restart the show because I've heard nothing but great things about it. There's also quite a bit of films that I'm looking to watch. Like, to give you guys an idea, the last couple weeks has been odd because the Criterion sale, there should have been a Criterion sale a couple weeks ago. They always have a 50% off on the website in February, specifically towards the end of it. But they didn't this year. And from what I understand, it's been a long time, but sometimes it's in March. So I suspect that this upcoming Tuesday is when they're actually going to have the sale. And when they do, there are going to be a couple films that, not a couple, probably 4 to 6 films that I'm going to be picking up. But I've been eager because I really, really want the sale to happen, because there's some films that I want to pick up so that way I can rewatch, and then some first time watches. But then there's other films that I've been on the bubble about if I wanted to blind buy them. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to watch them first on HBO Max, and then if I like them, then I'll buy them. Some of those are Police Story 1 and 2, Quaiden, The Long Good Friday, The Naked Kiss, Shot Quarter. Those are all films that I'm looking to watch on HBO. Originally was going to blind buy them, but I'm just going to play it safe and watch them first. I won't say the ones that I am planning to blind buy, because I am going to do a video about the Criterions that I'm watching. I mean, not watching, buying. I can't articulate. I'm watching Reacher, Peaky Blinders, Yellow Jackets 1923, Severance, White Lotus, Daredevil. Holy cow, that's a lot. Of those, I'm curious. Daredevil, how is the new season compared to the other 3 seasons? Is it as good, or is it kind of a dip in quality? Um, Let me know. Very curious. Let's see. Other films. Oh, today I'm planning to rewatch Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. I watched that, what was it, like 8 years ago? And I remember just thinking it was convoluted and I felt mixed about it. But I think I saw an article somewhere about how that's one of those films that a rewatch um, will help expand your mind about the film. So I'm looking to possibly rewatch that tonight. I got the Blu-ray out my local library, so I'm hoping that a second watch will make me like it more. If not, is what it is. At least I tried. And then tomorrow for St. Patty's Day, I'm planning to rewatch Brooklyn, and then I'm doing a mini binge watch of some of Steven Spielberg's films, like some of the ones that I haven't seen in such a long time, like Empire of the Sun. Haven't seen that in like 11 plus years. The BFG, haven't seen that in almost a decade. Ready Player One, haven't seen in like 7 years. Yeah, something like that. The Lost World, Jurassic Park, haven't seen in a decade plus. Adventures of Tintin, decade plus. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, decade plus. And then West Side Story, I did buy on eBay for like $12. So I'll be rewatching that. But I am planning to do a reevaluated Steven Spielberg's ranking list. Um, because whilst I stand by some of that ranking list, there's other things where I'm like, I haven't seen some of these films in such a long time, so I want to do a updated ranking list, and I'm planning to also do that with like Stanley Kubrick and a couple other directors too. Can't articulate. It's still good. A small dip in quality. I don't expect it to be as great as the original seasons. That's what I suspected. Just because I know that now it's part of the MCU, so you really can't be as violent and as dark as the original show was. So that's why I didn't even bother. Especially since I saw some of the pictures and it looks like the color grading wasn't as good as the original show. So I was just like, okay. But that's a shame that's not as good. At least it's still good. And of the other ones you mentioned, Yellow Jackets I still haven't watched. 1923 I still haven't watched. Although I've heard 1923 is better than Yellowstone. So maybe I will watch it at some point. And I've heard Severance. I've heard season two that there's one episode that is very Twin Peaks esque, from what I understand. So if that's the case, it has me really wanting to check it out. To be honest, oh. Is everyone doing something special for St. Patty's Day, or just another day? I know that a lot of people look forward to St. Patty's Day on the weekend, not a weekday. Oh, also today I did a couple videos, filmed a couple of them. The main one I did was top 10 Carter Burwell film scores. I'm excited to release that one to you guys. And then I also did Bob Fosse's films, ranked worst to best. He only did 5 films, but that one will be coming out. I'm trying to think. Let's see. When will I be releasing that one? I'm actually not sure. Because right now I'm so far ahead of schedule with the director's ones. But to be fair, I have to be because just they take so long. They take so long to do. I'm glad to do them, but they take a while. Let's see. I'll give you guys. I'll give you guys a sneak preview of these. All right. Let's see. All right. So these are some of the ones to be on the lookout for. The Alex Garland released: Osgood Perkins, John Singleton, Raj Kumar Hirani, Neil Blomkamp, Wong Kar-wai, Todd Field, Mel Brooks, Charlie Chaplin, Francis Ford Coppola, George Lucas, Tasha Khan, and Bob Fosse. These are some of the directors that I've already filmed director ranking lists for. I'm looking to do pretty soon. Where is it? Pretty soon, I'm looking to do Charlie Kaufman's films. That's going to be an exception, though, because normally I do it where it's a director. But Charlie Kaufman, I'm going to be doing the films that he's written because he's written more films than he's directed. So I'm going to be doing a ranking list for that. But yeah, I kind of have to be ahead of schedule because, like I said, these videos take a while to do. They take a while because I have to find the director, I have to find all the films that they've done, and then check to see if I can actually watch all of their movies. So it's tough, but I know you guys liked that series. I love doing it too, so it's a win-win. I am going to say though that I am surprised by my Academy Award series. I was shocked. I thought for sure the 1997 Academy Award Best Picture video, I thought for sure that was going to get the most views of the 1990s. I was not expecting it to get the least. I was like, holy cow, because I know 1997 it was like Titanic, Good Will Hunting, LA Confidential, but yeah, I'm like, okay. Boots at Hollow Chat, I finally saw I'm Still Here, and I liked it. Didn't love it like pretty much every last film last year, but story is very emotional. Wonderful, subtle performance from Fernando Torres. Agreed. Yeah, I think it's a good film, but similar to you, I didn't love it, but I thought it was good for sure. So we're on the same page. Also saw your 1997 Best Picture ranking. I put my ranking in your comment section. Did I see? I'm trying to think. Did I see? Might have missed it. Let's see. Let me check my phone real quick. Oh no, I saw yours. My bad. Okay, yeah, I saw yours. Yeah, I liked yours. I'm glad that LA Confidential is your number one, and I agree with you about LA Confidential, Good Will Hunting. Like, I'm hoping that those get 4K releases pretty soon. I think Good Will Hunting it's less likely to, because I think I'm trying to think. I think that's a Lionsgate film, if I'm not mistaken. And Lionsgate, they have been releasing movies, but they have it where it's like limited edition. So it could not potentially get a 4K. And then LA Confidential, I'm pretty sure 20th Century Fox owns the rights. So because of them now being bought out by Disney, I don't know if we're going to get that on 4K. I hope we do. I really do. But I will say the Blu-ray of LA Confidential is still pretty good, I would say. That's now a film that the last couple of years I've been watching around Christmas time. And when some people say, "Oh, it's not a Christmas movie," I'm like, the biggest plot point of the film is called Bloody Christmas. So I think it bloody well is a Christmas film, if I do say so myself. Bootzilla, I'll probably do it in 2027 for 30th anniversary, hopefully. Yeah, it's true. I mean, it could even be potentially 2028 because I've noticed recently that they will have it where it's the following year. Like Titanic, I think Titanic they released in 2022. I don't think they released the 4K just yet. I think it was the beginning of 2023 is when they re-released it in theaters and then they put it out in 4K. So I think it's usually the following year from what I've seen. But there's some films from the 90s. I'm just so shocked that we haven't got a 4K release. LA Confidential being one of them. Very, very surprised American Beauty hasn't gotten a 4K. Like, that's a film that would be exceptional on 4K. Like, holy cow. I can't articulate. It may be a Christmas film, but do you know what is not a Christmas film? Die Hard. Just kidding. I was going to say, I would definitely say that that's a Christmas film. I think my biggest hot take though is saying Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is a Christmas film. But you know something? It's constantly snowing and both the beginning and ending tie into Christmas because they take place at Christmas. So I stand by my ruling that Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is a Christmas film. And I'm looking forward to watching it a third straight year on Christmas. It's actually funny though, because I think The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, it's one of the few films that I've seen every single year since I first saw it. So, like in 2015, June 2nd, I want to say was the first time I saw it, and then every single year after, I've seen it. So it's just wild, I think, because a lot of times films I'll watch them, and then it'll be a couple years later that I'll rewatch them. But Girl with Dragon Tattoo is one of the few films I've seen every single year. Godzilla, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is the perfect film to watch in the winter. Absolutely agree. That, The Revenant, Simple Plan, Hateful Eight, The Thing, films like that. Oh, Prisoners. Prisoners is another one that just feels right at home at around the winter season. Can't articulate. Fincher's my second favorite director, but I still haven't seen it. Oh, you gotta change that then. If especially if you love Fincher, it's a great film, man. It's in my top 25, and I think you'll really like it. Let me see if it's on any streaming services. One second. I would say blind buy the Blu-ray because the Blu-ray is pretty awesome, but just in case you don't like it. Oh, it's on Tubi, but Tubi has commercials, so I want to say check it out, but at the same time, that film, it's so perfect in regards to its editing that I feel like commercials would really dilute the film itself. So maybe just buy it. I mean, not buy it, but rent it on demand or buy the Blu-ray. I think the Blu-ray is pretty cheap. I can't articulate. I can bypass the ads. Oh, you have your ways. Oh yeah. Seven C's, seven C's. Fair enough. Yeah, watch Girls Rank Tattoo. I think you'll like it. It's the film that Marv and I debate about to no end. We we actually let me rephrase that. Not we. Marv says that the movie is like 45 minutes too long, and I told him to put his money where his mouth is, and so we have a Marv cut of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And let's just say it somehow brings a movie that's a 5 out of 5 in my eyes to like a 3 out of 5 because of just the editing he did, like the things that he cut out and everything. I'm just like, no. But once you see the film, we'll talk about that because I don't want to spoil anything of like what it was that he cut out. But it was just like, Marv, no. And he wants to finish the cutting too, and I'm like, but yeah, great movie. I would say watch it and then watch the original because there is a Swedish version, and the Swedish version it is solid, but Fincher's directing I think is what really melds well with the material, like even better. Is that the question? Is that the only Fincher film that you haven't seen, or are there other Fincher films that you haven't seen? I'm curious now. Because I know I've seen all of them except, I mean, yeah, I've seen all of them, but I was going to say the one that I'm not a fan of is Alien 3. All the other ones I like to some extent. Can't particularly, I haven't seen the game, Alien 3, and Mank. So my ranking of those three would be the game, Mank, Alien 3 last. Alien 3, I'm not a fan of. Mank, I think, is a solid companion piece to Citizen Kane. but the writing the writing leaves a lot to be desired. It's from what I understand, Fincher's dad was a huge fan of Citizen Kane, and so he adapted Mank. And the screenplay, think, I believe, was finished before Fincher's dad died. So he didn't do any changes though. So he's just adapting straight from his dad's screenplay. And it shows because there's just a lot of fat in that film, but it's still a film that is well crafted. The Game is a film that is really, really good until the third act. Third act does dip a little bit in quality. I'm not gonna lie and sit here and say that it's a perfect film. It's not. The third act definitely leaves a lot to be desired. So, but I'll be curious to hear your thoughts on those films. Film Kid is in the chat. Film Kid says, "Hey, just got back from seeing Black Bag in Dolby. Let me know your thoughts. I'm curious if you liked it." We were actually talking about Black Bag earlier because I brought up the box office numbers and how it's in, I think, second place. Film Kid, I also saw Mickey 17 yesterday. Oh yeah, I did see a review. I think you gave it a 4.5 out of 5, which is cool. I'm glad that you really liked it. Films like that, they need to get more recognition, more, seen by audiences. Film Kid, I enjoyed Black Bag. I just wasn't feeling it the first 15 minutes. Yeah, it takes a little bit to get adjusted. Because at first you're like, I don't really know what to expect, but as it goes along, it does get a lot better, I think. So I get where you're coming from. I thought it was a solid film. I liked it quite a bit. I thought it was very nice that we got two Steven Soderbergh films. I will say the gun game scene closer to the end of the movie genuinely shocked me. Yeah, me too. That was a good scene. It was a tight screenplay. Like, I genuinely liked it. I'm looking forward to rewatching it sometime in the future. Right now, I mentioned it earlier, but for those of you that are just now tuning in, Wednesday I'm seeing two movies. So I saw Last Breath on Friday with my dad, and then Wednesday I'm seeing The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, and then right after that I'm seeing Spring Breakers in IMAX. So I'm looking forward to Wednesday. I really am. Can't articulate. I watched History of Violence like a week ago. Very good, quite indeed. Dude, right? Wasn't that film so good? I will never understand people that don't like A History of Violence. I really don't. That film grabs you immediately. Like that opening scene, that's one long take. It lets you know all that you need to know about these characters, whilst at the same time giving you a beautiful tracking shot. And it, in some ways, sets the tone for not only who these characters are, but also for the themes that are going to be tackled. It's brilliant. I love it. Tim Kid, I was very scared on how they were going to wrap it up, but it wrapped up nicely. So it was the hardest thing, wrapping up a film. And I agree with you. I'm glad that they did a good job wrapping it up. Film Kid, I got my tickets for Princess Mononoke on IMAX on March 29th. That's one I'm trying to figure out if I want to rewatch in theaters because I haven't seen that film in such a long time. I remember thinking it's good, but I haven't seen it in such a long time. So I'm still on the fence if I'm going to watch it again and if I watch it again in theaters. But I think you'll like it. It's a good film. I'm trying to think what I'm going to be seeing next after this week. Let's see. April should be a good month. Well, minus the Minecraft movie. I'm not excited for a Minecraft movie. I'll probably wait for that. Oh, The Amateur. It looks like The Amateur is going to get an IMAX release. I'm excited for that one. Let's see what else. Sorry, I'm on the app right now. Well, the Alto Nights is this month, but Working Man, and it's also this month. Oh, Warfare. I'm excited for Warfare. Drop could be good. Sinners, I'm super stoked for. Let's see. Death of a Unicorn comes out late March. The Accountant 2, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to watch that in theaters because the first account I thought was just all right. Legend of Ochi, I'll probably watch. Uh, Cheech and Chong's last movie, I did not know that they were making another movie. All right, and then the rest of these it looks like are May movies. Oh, Hurry Up Tomorrow, I'm super stoked for, but that's May. Film Kid, I just saw in theaters last year, and it's one of my favorite movie going experiences to see in IMAX. I'm hoping it'll be as good. That's awesome, man. Film Kid, I'm probably going to see Alto Nights on Saturday. That's one I want to watch. Two Robert De Niro's, gangster genre. I'm in. Film Kid, and then I might go see Opus. Just depends. So I saw Opus, and on one hand, I think you should definitely watch it because it is an original movie. On the other hand, I felt mixed about it. There's one scene early on that I think really, unfortunately, sets the tone for the rest of the movie. It's not a spoiler, but there's a YouTube video that's being played, and I'm watching the YouTube video, and my eye immediately looks down at the time because I'm curious to see how long the YouTube video is going to be that they're playing, and I see that it's a minute and 1 minute and 1 second long, and they're 34 seconds into the video that's playing for us. Well, it stays that way. It stays at 34 seconds. It doesn't change at all, and I'm like, oh no! Like that's such a simple thing to be able to fix, and they just let that in the movie, and I'm like, oh no. So that just in my eyes kind of soured things, and the rest of the movie doesn't really help any because the third act has a payoff that I think should have been amazing, but in execution it was like, okay. But I would still say check it out because it is original. It is something that if people go to see, then it will tell A24 that yeah, we need to continue making original movies. So again, I feel conflicted, but overall, I'd say check it out. Film Kid, I'm pumped for Warfare, Death of a Unicorn, and Sinners. Me too, in all three of those. I think Sinners might be the most excitement I have of those three, surprisingly. Film Kid, I love The Weeknd so much, and I listen to a lot of his albums, so I'm definitely locked in for Hurry Up Tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The Weeknd, I didn't really know who he was until The Idol came out. I felt a lot like Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems. Like when he said, what's the Weeknd?" When he said that in Uncut Gems, that's how I felt back in 2019. So yeah, I'm not as up to date with music as I am with films and TV shows. But once I saw The Idol, I became aware of more of his music and everything. And I do think that he's talented. So I'm looking forward for Hurry Up Tomorrow because I know he's going to be working with Trey Edward Schultz, which Film Kid and other people that are, staying tuned live would highly recommend you check out Waves. It's an A24 film that just doesn't get enough discussion. Waves is the same director as Hurry Up Tomorrow, and it is so, so good. Um, Nobody talks about that film, but it is one of the best films of 2019. I promise you. Saber008 is in the chat. My favorite reviewer is live. Austin, good to hear from you, my friend. I hope you are doing well. My favorite hack frog. Film Kid, sadly, The Dark Knight is playing at a theater near me in about 7 minutes. It starts, but I'm not going. Don't worry. Apparently, from what I understand, it's going to be released in May in IMAX. So I'm definitely going to be seeing that in theaters because I've never seen it on the big screen. So I'll definitely be there. Godzilla listened to The Weeknd's first album, House of Balloons, before he blew up. It's his best album to me. All right, I'll try to check it out. I know he did one of the tracks for the new Avatar, and I thought that was a really good track. And a lot of the music from The Idol is The Weeknd's own music, so I definitely think he's talented for sure. And I'm curious to see what he's going to do in a lead role that's not TV. Film Kid, I'm definitely going to try to do that. I really hope Inception gets a release on on IMAX for its 15th anniversary. I suspect it will. That probably wouldn't be until at least July because I think it was July of 2010 was when it got released. But I'm hoping that they continue doing these re-releases. Like I want to see The Social Network in IMAX. That would be pretty amazing. But none of Fincher's stuff has really gotten the IMAX treatment other than Seven. But that's also because that movie is really, really popular. Film Kid, I would highly recommend listening to After Hours, Dawn FM, and Hurry Up Tomorrow. It's probably the most successful out of his discography, along with Starboy. Question, because I thought Hurry Up Tomorrow, I thought the album was getting released simultaneously with the film. Or is that not the case? It already got released. Just curious. Because that's what I read, but maybe I read it wrong. Because I read that May 23rd, I think, is when the film comes out, and that's also when they're planning to release the album. That's also called that, from what I read, at least. And I think that film has a pretty big budget too. Film Kid, Hurry Up Tomorrow. The album came out January 31st, and it's heavily inspired by stuff like Scarface. Oh, all right. That's good to know. I did not know that. Let me look that up right now. I believe you, but just always look at a curiosity. Yeah. All right. Yeah, you're right. January 31st, 2025. Okay. I'm reading the budget for Hurry Up Tomorrow, the film. It's $20 million. That's a that's a pretty big swing for the fence for an original idea. I'm excited. And it's got a good cast too. Eric Yogan, Jenna Ortega, Abel Tesfaye, Charlie Charlotte DeMelo's in it. She's a TikToker, isn't she? I guess that means I got to start doing TikTok dances so that way I can get roles in big films. But yeah, I would say May. That's my most excited film, and it comes out right before Memorial Day weekend. Film Kid, I'm really pumped for all two nights, and I'm glad that my dad is also excited. Oh, that's got to be a really good bonding experience watching that with your dad. I'm excited for that film too. I think Robert De Niro being back in the gangster genre is something that is going to be cool. Saber 008. I come for the reviews, stay for the dancing. I have TikTok and I've made TikToks, but I haven't done any dances. But I know Austin, you've seen my dancing skills at my wedding, so you know I have them. But I always thought that maybe I would just keep it for the weddings. But maybe I'll have to go big. Tim Kid, I'm also super pumped for Martin Scorsese's next film just based off the cast and the plot. I'm already locked in. Scorsese's involved. He's directing. I'm in. Super pumped. I'm glad that he's still making films, man. I heard recently that Killers of the Flower Moon will not be getting a physical media release, which I find to be very disheartening because I think that film 100% should be on physical media. But what's even more disheartening is that apparently Criterion reached out to Apple Plus and they said, "Nah, we're not going to give you the rights to work on this, transfer." So it's a shame, really is. Because I'm probably not gonna. That makes me not really want to watch the film because I don't really rewatch films on streaming as much, as opposed to if I have it on physical media, I'm probably going to rewatch it. Film Kit, I really want to pick up Hundreds of Beavers on physical media, but it's sold out, so I'm waiting till Vinegar Syndrome restocks. Oh, dude, I have an entire book that I wrote last night after rewatching Hundreds of Beavers. In short, I watched Hundreds of Beavers for the first time Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. I pre-ordered it, and January 28th is when it was supposed to come in regards to like, normal Amazon stores, but I was going to have it 2 days prior. At least that's what they told me. And then as it got closer, they changed the date from January 26th to 28th. And then it was the type of thing where, oh, we're out of stock. And I'm like, what's the point of pre-ordering something if it's not going to be in stock when it actually comes out? Then it gets worse. They kept pushing the date back till finally March is when it got announced that it was going to be actually getting shipped to me. And I'm like, so frustrating. And you know the worst part? Didn't even come with a slipcover. So it's like, really? Come on now. So annoying. But yeah, Hundreds of Beavers, great film. I was laughing so much last night on rewatch. Saber 008, we should buy the rights for it. Honestly, we should. Or what we should do is we should seven seas it the same way that we did with the original Star Wars cut. The only way to watch the original Star Wars that should be allowed. Film Kid, I can finally say that I watched a movie before you. Yeah, that's true. I was very late to that film because every time I saw the poster, I thought the poster looked good, but I thought it was like an older film, which I'm not opposed to watching, but I was just so focused on watching films from last year. So when I finally found out that it was a film from last year, I was like, oh, all right, I'm going to watch it right away. And I'm glad that I did. It was great. Film Kid says yes. Also says you should show your wife Hundreds of Beavers. So the only thing is she's not a big fan of slapstick. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't shown it to her. Like she's not a big fan of Three Stooges, Charlie Chaplin. So Hundreds of Beavers is very much so in that vein. So that's why I just haven't shown it to her. But I am planning to show some of my friends that film. One of them being Saber 008 because I think he'll really like it. Film Kid. Also, what does it mean when you tag your reviews with the candy emoji? Oh, it's a special candy. That's all I'll say. It's a special candy that enhances the experience, and yeah, it's pretty awesome though. Saber 008. I saw the cover art for Hundreds of Beavers, and I thought it was from the 70s. Do you recommend it? So that's actually one of the things about it. It's emulating the poster from It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World, which came out in the late 60s. Like, if you look at the two posters, they're very similar. I would highly recommend it. I own it on Blu-ray, so I am looking to show it to you as well as Kevin, because I think you would both really like it. I mean, heck, I know we're probably going to be hanging out next weekend. I would already rewatch that film. It's so good. Film Kid, are you talking about edibles? You said it, not me. Film Kid, I'm very disappointed in you, Chad. Oh, stop. Hey, it could be worse. It could be. No, it's nice. It makes me focused, which is nice. And it's better than drinking, at least from what I'm told. It helps with my skin condition. A lot of benefits. Trust me, I did research before I dabbled with the idea of doing it. But it's great. I mean, especially with David Lynch films, it's amazing. But yes, that's why once a week or once every couple of weeks, that's why you'll see it. Sabers, you're great. Don't worry. I'm taking them to support group next weekend for it. Film Kid. uh, Kid, no wonder you watched the wildest songs and tag that. Wildest songs. Wait, what's the wildest songs? I'm not following. Are you talking about the songs in Hundreds of Beavers? Because I will say that the songs were definitely elevated, while on an edible. The last 20 minutes, I had tears in my eyes from laughter. Same with I rewatched 21 Jump Street last night, and same thing. I had tears of laughter. It was so good. Let's see. I went to say things instead of songs. I meant to say things, not song. Oh, you mean no wonder you watch the wildest things and tag that. Yeah, well, it's usually right now. It's for me. It's movies that I've seen before, um, and then it's movies that when I think about them, I'm like, okay, would they benefit with them? There's some movies where something like Seven or Gone Girl, it didn't really do much for me, but something like Inland Empire, I mean, that was transcendent. That was like a transcendent experience. That was terrifying. One of the most terrifying experiences, twice actually, because I've seen it twice that way. It's incredible. Saber008, gotta go for dinner. Good luck for the rest of your stream. Saber008, always a pleasure, man. I look forward to seeing you soon, which you know will happen. Film Kid, stupid autocorrect. No, you're good, man. Yeah, that's why you'll see like something like Amelia Perez or Hundreds of Beavers, or Beyond the Black Rainbow. Surreal films I find to be the best experiences, honestly, that way. Something like Suspiria. Suspiria was another amazing experience. 2001: A Space Odyssey was also just amazing, but I'm new to it all. I mean, I it was like July when I first started. Film Kid, now I'm gonna be the one who keeps company. Yes. Yeah, I'm surprised. Maybe it's because it's Sunday, but I'm surprised there's not more people. I know Saturdays are usually when there's a lot more people, but yesterday there were so many things that I had going on, so I was just like, all right, I'll wait until Sunday. Film Kid, I'm trying to use my best persuading skills to go see the 2001: Space Odyssey in 70 millimeter, as you should. That's going to be an amazing experience. I'm so pumped for that, man. I really am. Sergey is actually going to be seeing it with me, which is awesome because we both gave it a 5 out of 5. I want to try to get Marv to see it in 70 millimeter as well because we're trying to do that, top 100 movies, where every live stream we focus on one movie. The first movie is 2001: A Space Odyssey, but we haven't actually sat down to live stream talk about it because Marv hasn't rewatched it yet, and he's only seen it one time, and it was like 7 years ago. So someone like Sergey and myself, we've seen it several times, so we can talk about it, but Marv wouldn't, unfortunately. So we're waiting for him to watch it. So I'm not gonna lie, it might not be until the middle of April when we actually review it. Film Kid, you know when you're going. I know. I'm not sure yet the time, but I know the date wise. I think it's April 26th. I want to say, but I'm excited. It's gonna be a busy weekend because I have that on that Saturday, and then the following day I have a 5K that I'm running. So it's gonna be busy. I'm actually thinking about it now, and I might live stream on Friday that time, just because Saturday and Sunday are both gonna be busy. Don't care if I go, it's most likely going to be on the 26th, and then you can probably guess what time it's going to be, knowing how far I am from the theater. I'm going to assume probably at 7:45. Although at the same time, if you go early, I don't know. I guess it really depends because I think you said you're 3, 4 hours away, so it really depends on how early you want to wake up. But I guess if you're a night owl, you would probably do the 7:45 because if you get there 7:45, let's see, probably starts at 8 o'clock, 10:30, but then you wouldn't begin home till 2. So I guess it really depends on who's driving you, like if they're a morning person or a night owl. Thankfully, in my case, Sergey is going to be driving, so Film Kid, it's about a 2.5 hour drive away from me. So if I go to the one at noon, I would only have to leave at like 9. Well, that's fair. It's a good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, for me, it's like hour and a half. It's not bad. I haven't been to the theater, but my one friend has, and from what he's told me, it's a really good theater. And they're playing Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think it's next month, which is pretty cool. So it's a nice theater. Like the fact that they have 35 millimeter and 70 millimeter that's playing, like that's awesome. I'm going to assume that at some point they're going to play the master in 70 millimeter, and if they do, I'm probably going to go to that theater again. So the master, let's see, trying to think of films in 70 millimeter that I would want to rewatch in 70 millimeter. The master, Oppenheimer. I forget, was Dark Knight Rise? No, it wasn't Dark Knight Rises. Was it Dunkirk? Dunkirk would probably be a really good 70 millimeter experience. So I'm not sure. I think what other films? Let me actually look this up real quick. 70 millimeter. Let's see. I'm gonna use good old Wikipedia. Oh, I forgot. It's a Mad Mad World is let's see. It's a Mad Mad World was on 70 millimeter. If that came back, I'd watch that. Let's see. So I'd watch that. Um Hateful Eight. Ooh, Lawrence of Arabia. I would watch Lawrence of Arabia on 70 millimeter. And then let's see. I could have sworn. I'm surprised. I'm looking at this list. I'm not seeing the master, but I could have sworn the master was 70 millimeter. Oh no, the first 70 millimeters since okay. All right. I guess I stand corrected. I was wrong. Hmm. All right. Well, I guess I was wrong about that. So I guess there really isn't that many 70 millimeter movies. But if it's a Mad Mad World got that treatment, I would definitely see it. Film Kid, I would love to meet you in person, but on the other hand, that's kind of weird. I mean, if it happens, it happens. If we're at the same showing, actually, Sergey, before I was friends with him, I actually, believe it or not, I actually ran into him at theaters. Like he recognized me. It wasn't awkward. It wasn't like we spent an hour talking, but we said hi and whatnot. Film Kid, part of me is curious. So if I'd be a lot taller than you, I mean, I'm 5'10", so I'm not that tall. Pretty average height. So if you're taller than 5'10", you'll definitely be taller than me. Film Kid, I just saw Lawrence of Arabia in theaters. That must have been a great experience. That's one similar to 2001: A Space Odyssey that I want to experience before I die. Especially since whenever I experience Lawrence of Arabia, I'm watching it at home versus in the theater. That's 4 hours of just you and the screen, no distractions whatsoever. Film kid, I'm around 5'7". Oh, so you're Tom Cruise's height. Lawrence of Arabia was a little too long, though. I thought that the first time I saw it, so I can definitely respect that. Like, I thought it was way too long the first time I saw it, but each rewatch, I've actually grown to love the length. They just don't make films like Lawrence of Arabia anymore. I actually have a video. Let me see. Let me pull out my top 10 playlist. 1 second. This is one of the nice things, guys, about tuning into my live streams. You get ahead of everyone else with what's going to be coming out. Let's see. Let me present it. All right. So here we go. So the two top 10 videos to look forward to are top 10 films that I want to hate, but I don't. That's going to be a very controversial one. I'm excited to release that. And then on the topic of Lawrence Arabia, I have a video, top 10 best long movies of all time. I'm very excited to release this to you guys. It's only 20 minutes long. I know that if I'm doing a video about long movies, I should have made it a lot longer, but I do have a nice little thing that I did in that one that I'm looking forward to showing you guys. So I think you guys will like that video. Film Kid, do you like the way that I structure my reviews with favorite character, favorite scene, favorite aspect, and then the review? Yeah, I think it's cool. It makes your reviews like stand out. So I like it. I switch up my structure. Like sometimes I'll talk in depth about like my relationship with the film, and then other times if I've seen the film before or I just don't have that much to say, I'll just keep it short and or just reference like the previous review. Like my 21 Jump Street review, I watched a lot of films yesterday, so that one I still have to release, and that one I don't have too much to say about it, other than pretty much I loved it. Film Kid, My Brutalist, and a Clockwork Orange T-shirt came in, and I love them both. Dude, that's awesome. Are you planning to pick up the Brutalist on 4K? I think it comes out. I think it's 10 days, something like that. And Clockwork Orange, I have a T-shirt for that, and that's awesome. The Brutalist, I might pick up a T-shirt as well because I do love that film. Film Kid says, I will most likely buy it. It's one of my favorite movies from last year. Me too. I'm on the fence though, and the only reason why is because it doesn't have HDR, high dynamic range, which I think is kind of a cop out. I think that what they're going to do is they're going to release it, and then a year or two from now, they're probably going to re-release it with the HDR. And the reason why I'm saying this is because they did that with Avatar: The Way of Water, where they released it on 4K, and then they were like, "Oh, by the way, you can get the version now that actually has Dolby Vision the way it was originally supposed to be." So that's what I suspect that they're going to do with the Brutalist, which I think is a shame because it's a way for us to double dip. So, not a fan. Here's the link for the Brutalist T-shirt that I got. See, unlike you, I'm blind when it comes to visuals. So honestly, I could watch a movie on DVD and still think it looks really good. I mean, I'll be honest with you. It's one of those things with each year, I gain more and more knowledge about it. And for me, I'm also thinking about it as I want the best possible way to watch something. But at the same time, if if something's 4K, I don't automatically think that it's the best way to watch it. Like think Seven, for example. Seven, from what I understand, they have a lot of AI that's in it, things that were added as well. Well, that means that even if it's a 4K transfer, there's still elements in it that are not the way that it's supposed to be. So for me, I'm sticking with the Blu-ray as of right now. You know, I love Seven, I really do, but I haven't had the urge to pick that up on 4K. And same with Zodiac. Zodiac is an upscale, so I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna stick with the Blu-ray. But some DVDs still look good. I mean, I own the film Happiness still on DVD. Like I haven't sold it. Wasn't a bad looking DVD. Same with the film Little Children. It's not bad. It's just I know that the film Little Children deserves a Blu-ray release at the very least, and Happiness got a 4K release. And once you see it on 4K, it's like, oh, there's no going back. Film Kit. I sent the link in the chat for the T-shirt that I got. I don't think. Let me see. I'm not seeing it. Yeah, I see where you said there's the link for the Brewless T-shirt that I got, but I'm not seeing it. Let me see. I see there's a private chat. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I just resent it. Odd. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I wonder why it's not showing it. Hmm. Well, I know the Brutalist T-shirts. I know that they have it on what's the site called? T Public. So maybe I'll pick up the shirt on T Public because that's where these days that's where I get most of my movie shirts. That includes this one, the Rosemary's Baby one. I got that on T Public. Great site. Highly recommend. All right, guys. I'm gonna get ready for dinner. 6:30 p.m. with where I'm at. So look forward to the next live stream. I appreciate those of you that contributed in the comment section. You guys are the best, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. And yeah, stay classy, guys.